I'll flip the swath over because we're gonna come and bale this in a couple of days. So.
Right. So Mark, tell me, where are we right now?
Right now, we're on Courtney's land. Organic land.
Yay! And what did you plant here this year?
So this was certified organic oats.
Yeah.
Dancer oats.
Yeah.
And we cut it last week for green feed.
Cool. And you were saying that when you're transitioning to organic fields, you find that there's a lot of weeds the first few years.
Right. Yeah, during the transition period, you have to manage the weeds and try and get them under control. And so by cutting it for green feed, we're taking care of those weeds before they all set seed and try and take care of it that way.
Right. And so, that makes sense. So by next year, there won't be as many seeds there?
Right. So you're trying to reduce the weed bank in the soil that would have been there from previous years. And in the conventional side of things, because they don't generally till the soil, most of the weeds stay dormant. But in an organic system, you have to till the soil, so those weeds all pop up in those first couple of years, so you have to manage those weeds during that transition.
Okay, why do you have to till the soil during the organic?
Because you don't have the opportunity to spray the weeds out.
Okay,
crop.
so basically you're pulling them up by tilling them.
Yeah.
Okay, rather than going doing it by hand the way you'd have to do in a garden.
Right, because these are big gardens.
Right, yeah, big garden. It's a big garden.
Big gardens, yeah. And you don't have the chance to spray it in crop once the crop is out of the ground. So you try to manage the weeds as much as you can before seeding.
Yeah.
So that once you're done seeding, then typically the crop will try and get ahead of the weeds.
Right. And so what do you think you'll end up doing next year?
So the plan will be for this land, and I was going to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Depending on what the moisture conditions are like, we'll probably try and grow oats again.
Okay.
Because oats are a competitive crop, and it gives you a few different options, right? So like we did this year, if there's a lot of weeds that come again, we'll cut it and take it for green feed.
Yeah.
And then probably the year after that, we would go to flax.
Okay.
Organic flax.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. It's a rotational crop, and the price of organic flax is pretty good.
Good.
So,
Good. Well, that's good. Well,
yeah.
I know, it's farming just with cycles and prices and, like rain and, trade agreements and everything. You got to keep a firm eye on the bottom line, don't you?
Yeah.
So how long have you been farming organic for?
We started our certification in 2000.
Yeah.
And so it's a 36-month transition for any land that has been conventionally farmed. So any land that's been conventionally farmed, you have to wait 3 years. If you have land that's been in pasture or alfalfa, like some of your land was here, then it's just a 1-year transition.
Okay.
It just has to be inspected, and then the following year you can have it organic. Then we have 200 cows at home, and we certified the cows in 2005. So since 2005, our whole farm's been certified organic.
Right. And from talking to other farmers, I know that when you do some cattle and some, growing crops, it gives you just more flexibility if the price goes up in one and not in the other.
Yeah, and in the organic system, because you don't have commercial fertilizer or synthetic fertilizer, cattle are your fertilizer source.
Right. So you're almost doing how do you do that?
Right. So basically what we'll do at home is we'll graze some of this land. Instead of cutting it and baling it, we'll try and graze some of that so that the manure goes back on the soil without us having to haul it out there.
Right, yeah.
And then for anywhere that we feed in confinement, then we'll take that manure out to the fields and spread the manure to create some fertility.
Awesome. So you're sort of doing things old school a little bit. That's neat.
Go back to the way Grandpa used to do it.
Well, Grandpa used to farm this land. It's been in the family since 1885.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going back 100 years because they didn't have all the tools, right? So they had to work with the soil, and that's what we're going back to doing, is working with the soil and trying to make it healthy and productive in a bunch of different ways instead of just growing 1 or 2 crops over and over again. And I think it's more sustainable.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, you were telling me how your family has quite a bit of celiac disease, and that's one of the reasons you kind of got into this, just got you thinking about all the different things that we eat.
Yes, yeah. Well, and part of the reason for possibly growing oats here next year is we actually grow certified organic gluten-free oats.
Right.
Because in our rotations. For the last 5 years, we've taken out any wheat, barley, or rye in our rotation. We don't grow any of those crops anymore.
Right.
So mainly millet, oats, flax, and buckwheat, actually, which is gluten-free.
Yeah.
So these might be organic gluten-free oats here next year.
Oh,
That'd be the goal.
Yeah.
If Mother Nature cooperates.
Awesome. And your whole family's involved. What's the name of the daughter who helped you out with this field?
Oh, my daughter Peyton.
Yay, good job, Peyton.
My 14-year-old daughter Peyton.
Well done, Peyton. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, it's been super fun talking to you, Mark.
Yes.
Thank you for teaching me. You're going to have to teach me lots of things. Aren't you glad?
Yeah, well, lucky me.
Yay, lucky you.
Yeah.
Cool.